How's that for an elegant fade out? Hello, everyone, and good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Lovely to see y'all. Lovely to be here. Little tired, but what's new? But yeah, lovely to be here. My voice is still a little bit shot. I'm sorry about that. I am getting a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better today than I was a couple of days ago, even. We'll see. We'll see how my vocal cords hold out for the stream. But in the meantime, hi, and welcome in. Turnip, thank you so much for the lurk. Many distractions, thank you for being first. Welcome in. How are you doing? Lovely to see y'all, and welcome on in. Let's pop on over to the art screen and see whether or not my Okay, so despite my not having changed any of the settings in my streaming software, it just decided to forget what microphone I use. Um, and I had to reset that. That's super weird. Sorry about that. Anyways, what I was saying was there was a good long moment of pop in before my VTuber appeared. And it just reminded me of, like, it's like in, if any of you played, I mean, okay, this is common video game phenomenon when there's just too much visual stuff in the space for it to load cleanly. But if you did very heavy renovations on your Animal Crossing island, or you visited an Animal Crossing island where they just placed too many different assets and items in in the area in order to give it that sort of, like, aesthetic look that looks really good in screenshots, but then when you're actually playing the game, it makes those areas a little bit frame ratey, and it takes like a few extra moments for the items to actually populate. Normally it's fairly imperceptible. You walk into an area and everything just exists there, but then if you put too many elements into a given section of the island, it will take a moment for them to load, and it's very obvious. I understand that the Pokemon game that was set in, like, fairly recent Pokemon game that people didn't really like, I think, for the most part, in part because of things like there were multiple areas of the game where stuff was just really frame ratey, or things would take a really long time to pop in just because it would just be, like, really chuggy and weird. That kind of thing. Except it's me. Hi. I'm a person. Anyways, this is what we're painting today, in case you don't know. In case you didn't see last stream, and I don't imagine that anyone is keeping up with the... I know that a lot of wonderful friends here have, like, stream streaks and stuff, but I'm gonna guess that, a lot of people don't catch every single stream that I do, and that's fair enough. Y'all have lives, and other things to do, and possibly better things to look at. But in case you missed it, we're doing the Snowy Windows prompt for Stream Inc.'s Cozy January Recovery prompt list, and I'm doing a little iteration of our barista, our ghost barista. It's a quiet day in the coffee shop because the weather is pretty gnarly out there, but they spy someone off in the distance on their way to... who's trudging through the weather and is on the way to, I don't know, maybe get their usual, just a nice black filter coffee or something, and just get cozy and sit for a while in the nice weather, or the nice indoor weather, rather. And it was inspired in part by an outing that I made on the weekend, where it was so foggy that I swear the draw distance was like 10 feet. The fog was really, it was incredibly atmospheric, and if I wasn't the kind of person who found this sort of thing cool, I would have probably found it creepy. Honestly, my phone's camera doesn't quite do it justice because the visibility was worse than this makes it look like it was. And you can just about see, if you zoom way in, you can see some little, you know, vague figures and trees sort of not that many feet away from me, really. But that was very much the vibe. It was like this kind of thing. Very very spooky, very atmospheric, but very nice day, actually, I thought. But that might be because I wasn't driving in it, which would have been terrifying. But anyways, thank goodness for public transit and experienced drivers who are used to these kinds of conditions. Many distractions says, I used to do that with a lot of RTS games. I have a desire to flood the maps with as many buildings as possible. I mean, they let you put stuff, so you want to put stuff. But then sometimes when you put too much stuff, it overburdens the game's ability to load the things in an efficient way, and you start noticing. And I find that fun. Samuel, thank you very much for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely, lovely lurk. I do appreciate it, and I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday as well. I hope everyone's Thursday is going good. My Thursday is going pretty good. I achieved some stuff. I got some rest. I achieved some tasks I needed to get finished earlier. Nothing terribly exciting, mostly like, you know, answering emails and updating spreadsheets, that kind of thing. But it feels good to get stuff to hello. Oh my goodness.
Oh hell yeah, Samantha_42 just subscribed. 41 months what? That's like nearly an entire year.
Oh my goodness, Samantha, thank you so much for the 41 months of sub. Thank you. That's incredibly sweet. And once again, I see that our wombat friend, TTS Nicole, is very much trying her best. 41 months and TTS Nicole still can't pronounce my name right, SMH, says Samantha. I'm so sorry. She is trying her best, but she is only a wombat, so the fact that she's capable of human speech at all is kind of miraculous. But thank you so much for this sub. I really do appreciate your support. It is so lovely, and it's lovely to see you, and I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. How are you doing? Celebratory fight milk, says many distractions. Hell yeah, I'm gonna take a sip of my, it's not fight milk today, it is the last dregs of my, my delicious filter coffee that I started earlier, which is, I believe it's a washed coffee from Mexico, and it's really nice. I have yet to encounter I think wherever coffee is grown in Mexico seems to have a really good terroir, because I have yet to have a bad Mexican coffee. I mean, I'm also very choosy about where I buy my coffees from, so I don't drink a lot of bad coffees. But yeah, it is my first work from home day at my job. Woo! Congratulations on working from home. I hope that the working conditions are good, that the snacks are delicious, and that the workspace is comfy. Hello, SB, welcome in. How are you doing? That is many little critters. Thank you for all the critters. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. How are you doing? Samantha says, it has been so nice being able to work from the coziness of my own home, with much nicer lighting and a comfier chair. Oh my gosh. That is the lighting is such a mood. The number, when I have worked in offices and I have had the privilege of at times or just always having sort of like a private office where I'm sat by myself in a room, I will almost always default to, you know, sitting somewhere where there's enough ambient light coming in through the windows for most of the day that I don't have to have the overhead lights on. And the number of times people would, you know, sort of like just barge into my office and be like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize anyone was here. Why are you sitting in the dark? It's like, because big light, too bright. Hurt brain. Make annoying buzzing sound. Can you not hear that? Anyways. being able to direct your own lighting in that way is just wonderful. Or possibly even you would like more concentrated lighting and you're able to do that for yourself without people being like, hey, could you switch off that lamp? So nice. So nice. And oh, chairs. Chairs! That is a mood. Anyways, not saying that on days when I've been too sick to go to an office, but well enough that I feel like getting work done, I haven't just like dragged my laptop into bed with me for the morning and just, you know, sort of perched in my pajamas, sort of half sitting up doing things. Hey, you know what? If it lets you get stuff done, then good. SB says it took me a couple of minutes to choose one of each of them. Oh, I love them. SB, I love them all. SB says just had breakfast watching art videos. Ooh, I hope your breakfast was lovely and delicious. Love that for you. What did I have for breakfast? I didn't. Unless taking medication counts, in which case I took my medication for breakfast. With a delicious, delicious cup of water. Anyways, Casa, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? It is very wonderful to see you. Welcome, welcome. This is what we're working on today, by the way. Our little barista. These are our paints, kind of. Though not all of them, just to be confusing. I've got all of these paints. This paint I mixed up, decided that I really didn't like the color, and added other things to it until it looked like this. So this paint exists, but that one doesn't. I should probably just cross this out so nobody gets confused by it. Yeah, these are the paints that we're working with today. My many moons set, which is combinations in varying amounts of these three paints and or these three paints. That was a weird experimentation session, but I'm glad that y'all bore with me for that. And here are our little painty doos. Yay! And a lot of them look very, very similar in the pans, so I'm very glad that I have my little key there. And I just have to make sure never to get these out of order, otherwise, oh no. Samantha says, I have medication for breakfast. Sammy Kelch, 2025. Listen, it's a good thing that I was able to get a prescription that makes my body feel better. So, hey, you know what? That's not the worst breakfast I could have. It's something that helps me not be sick. So, yay! Anyways, I'm gonna take I think possibly the last slug of this coffee. Oh no, very sad. Don't worry, I have alternate beverages. But, one moment. Delicious. Delightful. Let's fill up our water cup, first of all. And now I need to decide what order I'm gonna kind of be painting stuff in here. I think I probably more or less want to tackle the background stuff first and then do the things sort of inside the cafe. I think it's probably the best way to do it. But I need to try and figure out what... I don't know if I should have sketched out the various, like, elements that I want to be outside, like trees and stuff. Which, as you can see, I've not done here. But mayhaps I should have and didn't. Decisions are hard. It's hard to think of, to do. It's hard to do decision. It's hard to think thoughts. I've just realized very professionally of me that my pencil and eraser are still in the other room. So, let me just catch up with chat and then I'll go grab those real quick. We'll be back very shortly. Mandy Distraction says, I too breakfast the medications. Hell yeah. It's good to look after your health. Samantha says, fill me up. Buttered water cup, hell yeah. I did not do that little ditty justice, and I do apologize. Many Distractions says, can confirm decisions and thoughts are hard. They really are, but I think we're gonna push through it together and maybe arrive at something that hopefully ends up looking like a cute painting. So I'll be back in just a second. So BRB, but very briefly. Okay, what else did I get up to? Oh, I packed some orders today. That was fun. Somebody, some beautiful soul bought every single Terry painting that I have in my shop, which feels real good. They're gonna get the coolest stamp that I have. I have been trying in the last little while to get like cool stamps to send out orders with because, you know, like if I go to the post office, they'll just give me either like a random stamp or one of the boring stamps that just has like the monarch's face on it, and who wants those? Like that's boring. So I'm much happier when I can use stamps of like their special stamp releases that have like pictures of neat things on them. Like they did Warhammer stamps. Those were cute. I've got some stamps of river wildlife. I like those. There's some birds and fishies and little creatures. So that's really fun. So, you know, you might get a stamp with like a picture of a trout on it. I've got some Dungeons and Dragons stamps, so you might get a stamp with like a mind flayer. I try and pick cool stamps that I think that I hope that the people who are getting things from me will like. Because that's just a fun extra little doodah of a detail to get to add. Hello, Kirsty. Welcome in. How are you doing? It is very, very lovely to see you. Welcome in. I'm going to take a sip of my tea if that's okay. My tea, incidentally, if anyone's curious, this is just a mint tea. Because I've been very uncreative with my tea choices lately because I've been under the weather, and so I want uncomplicated things, and mint tea is good for me, so I've been drinking a lot of it. Lovely. Tastes like two kinds of mint. Anyways, Samantha says, you should get an option of either a monarch stamp or a guillotine stamp, and whichever gets the most sales by the end of the year decides if we maintain a monarchy or not. Oh no. I somehow feel like the fact that it's called Royal Mail suggests that they're not going to go for that, Samantha, but I recognize the sentiment and I respect it. Anyways, Kirsty says, it's lovely to see you. Tea. I wholeheartedly agree. Tea is my lifeblood and I need it to live. Anyhoosens. I'm gonna try and get some photos up here of my reference photos that I took whilst I was out on my walks of the ominous locations. It's very shallow draw distance to try and get some reference in here, because I think we've got like a little pathway here that's kind of getting wider as it gets closer to the little barista there, and sort of fading off into the distance, but it's not going to be super visible. Back there. SB says, if I could, I'd drink soda every day, but I settle for white green tea to keep me hydrated. Oh, hi. Sorry. Oh goodness gracious. Apparently I'm choking on the air now. Fantastic. Yeah, tea is probably a healthier choice, but oh, Biddle boy, soda is delicious. I do appreciate a good soda. I say a good soda, but yeah, tea is also delicious though. I mean, I love tea, so no complaints from me with regard to tea. I did not mean to make that rhyme. I apologize. Kirsty says, so nice. Did you enjoy Silent Hill? You know, I had a lovely time. It's a wonderful place to visit. I got some really nice groceries and went for a little walk in the park. I felt really, you know, it was the weather was brisk. But I saw some birds and some ominous figures in the distance. I also saw somebody walking their dog. That was fun. But yeah, I enjoyed Silent Hill. That was very much the vibe of that errand run. Um, so she's Betty Distraction says, "You're a poet and you didn't know it." I have written poetry before, and I would not say that it was not good. It was not good, anyways. Kirsty says, Sammy is the only person I know who could go to Silent Hill and actually make friends and have a nice time. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a lovely visit. I had a wonderful time. SB says my top favorite sodas are birch beer, root beer, and Sprite / Sierra Mist / Dari / or 7-Up. Fun fact, SB, all of the last ones, the Sprite, yada 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 yada. This baffled me when I first moved to the UK, but they call those lemonade here. I know. What? Anyways, remember the first time I was in a pub and I didn't want an alcoholic beverage. So I was just like, yeah, could you just do me like a half pint of lemonade? And they gave me Sprite, and I was like, what? I didn't say what, but I was like, oh, is that? And then I learned that that's what lemonade is. Lemonade in the UK, oh, for crying out loud, lemonade in the UK is what they generically refer to like lemon sparkling, soda beverages like Sprite and 7-Up. Samantha says, yes, it is fizzy lemon flavored soft drinks. What else would you call lemonade? Well, you see, Samantha, back in the old country, that is to say North America, we had this cool thing called lemonade that was made from, you would literally combine fresh lemon juice with sugar and water and stir it together into a delicious, very fresh, aromatic lemon beverage, which was called lemonade. It was not carbonated. We call that real lemonade, says Kirsty, and quite right, too. I mean, I don't mind. I like both iterations of the old lemonade beverage, so, it's fine, but, yeah, that was one of those, like, just little linguistic adjustments that you don't necessarily expect until you're immersed in them, and you're like, what? Hello. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any sort of like reverse ones that I experience now that I go back to, sort of Canada as a visitor rather than as someone who's from there. I think one of the weirdest ones that I can think of is I got some like weird responses last time I visited Canada for saying things like, let's say we were all going to be driving somewhere together with, sort of myself, my partner, my parents. And I'd be like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm just going to quickly nip to the toilet before we leave. And they'd be like, whoa, too much information. Because back in the old country, if you needed to go to the toilet, you would, there aren't signs places for like the toilets or this way or anything like that. It's all bathrooms, washrooms. It's all very euphemistic. And people were like scandalized by the fact that I was just like, okay, do you know where the toilet is here? They were like, whoa, TMI. And I was like, I mean, listen, if I'm going to the restroom, we all know that anyone who's going to the restroom, with very few exceptions, is going there to do a business, right? So why is it weird to say I need to use the toilet? I don't know. It's so normal to me now to say that it feels weird that they don't say that. Anyways, catching up with chat, SB says, I was walking with a friend to a pub restaurant in college when I learned that soft drinks are soft because they're not hard, like hard lemonade or something with alcohol in it. I thought it had something to do with coming out of a soda fountain dispenser. Oh, interesting. Indeed, soft drinks are soft drinks because they do not contain alcohol. But yeah, so I mean, technically, water is a soft drink, I guess. Unless, but what if it's hard water? Does lime scale count? Anyways, Samantha says, I mean, parts of North America call non-alcoholic apple juice cider, so I'm not taking any lessons in English from... Listen. In defense of apple cider, it is not the same thing as apple juice. It is not. Something to do with the way that it's pressed and filtered, I don't know, but I can attest with absolute certainty that it is a gazillion times more delicious than apple juice. It is a very special seasonal treat, and I love it with my whole heart, and there is... Cloudy apple juice gets close-ish here, but it does not replicate it. It's different. Anyways. So, there. Kirsty says chips. Chips. Yes, the joy of chips. I think one of the things that throws me with... Okay, like things like Dorito types, like tortillas. We don't really call them crisps here in the UK, but calling them tortilla chips feels wrong. Because chips here are, like, you know, fish and. Like what North Americans would call fries. Confusion. I don't know. Anyways. Samantha says, euphemisms always struck me as weird because whatever you use euphemistically has the exact same meaning. Yeah, exactly. You may as well just be direct about it. Like, why are we being so evasive about the fact that, you know, like, you need to pee? Who cares? So you're still being told the exact same thing. Yeah, exactly. So why is it like a, whoa, why would you say you need to dip to the toilet when it has the exact same meaning as I need to go to the bathroom? Like, everyone knows what that means. Anyways. SB says, could you direct me to where I shall do a poop? Yes, there you go, exactly. Samantha says, depends on what part of where you are in the UK you live, in if water is a soft drink. Yeah. I think our water is hard-ish here, where I live. I don't know, I like the tap water here, I think it tastes good. That's just vodka in a water bottle, no! Ew. As a certified not alcohol enjoyer, that sounds awful and my nightmare. Apple juice and apple cider aren't different other places. So SB, so for instance, for here in the UK and I think in a lot of other countries, apple juice refers to non-alcoholic apple juice. Cider refers to like alcoholic cider specifically. So you wouldn't call something cider unless it was like the fermented alcohol apple drink. So it's not the same as like North American apple cider, which is delicious and super cozy and a lovely all ages treat, especially with a little bit of cinnamon served warm on a cold November day is just a dream. Anyways, clear apple juice or bust, says Samantha. Drinks should have as few non-liquid components as possible. I respectfully disagree, but that's partially because I kind of never really got on side with clear apple juice because it gives me crampies. Anyways. Apple cider served warm with a stick of cinnamon, SB. It is, if you live in a climate that gets cold, it is delightful. Gazillion out of 10 do recommend. I mean, I have also had alcoholic cider that has been mulled here in the UK and served warm, and it is also incredibly cozy. Though also the person, I had it at a Christmas market where the person who sold it to me added a nice shooter of Calvados for free. Because I was friendly. So that made it extra cozy. As someone who doesn't drinky drink, it also gave me a headache. But I had a lovely time at the Christmas market before the headache kicked in. It needs to be icy year round, says SB. Are you an iced drink enjoyer? Because I know I've been hearing more and more about people who like drink cold brew coffee all year round, and I'm like, but doesn't your whole body get cold? I can't not have hot beverages. I am a hot beverage person. Samantha says, vendors giving you an extra for being nice makes anything extra cozy. It's delightful. It is one of the things I miss about when I lived up north was that there was this really, really nice market in Altrincham, which I didn't live particularly near Altrincham, which is sort of a little town on sort of it's on the Manchester tram network, but I don't think it's really in Manchester. I think it might be in Cheshire technically. But they had this really lovely market that was quite close to the tram station. So I would pop down there for funsies because I didn't really have much of a job, and I had a lot of days where I didn't have anything to do. So I would just go there, have a snack, doot around, come home. Try not to be I'm like I have income now nominally, and I'm more stressed about money than I did when I didn't have a job. But then I'm also older, and you know, I have like a partner and stuff, so I have other people to let down besides myself if I can't sustain our lifestyle. Anyways, our extreme are like, can I afford to buy the entire 4-pack of baked beans lifestyle? I've been on a real baked beans kick. Baked beans, it seems like it's just sort of like, I don't know, it's like my hyperfixation lunch at the moment. I am loving the baked beans. Like almost every day, I would say, for the last like week, I've just opened a small tin of baked beans. I don't know what that says about me, but they're very cozy. That's healthy, right? That's like, beans are a good source of fiber. It's good for like keeping your cholesterol down, and it's definitely not negated by whatever like whatever addiction forming substances they put in the tomato sauce. Anyways. SB says, I prefer all my drinks cold. Interesting. I don't like hot liquids because they usually warm me up too quickly, and then I'm hot on the inside and cold on the outside. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Well, then, fair enough. Whatever liquid temperature is your preference, I hope that you're able to find and do that. It says you have a good heart, says Samantha. Oh, you. No, you. There. I had 4 pretzel. SB, did you just say pretzel roll? Because that sounds real good. I wonder. So, for anyone who missed it, I have recently... This is so fun. So I have a video upcoming for my YouTube channel. It's not the one that I'm finishing right now, but it's the one that I'm starting to get ready to like properly write the script for. And it is about a very specific regional type of bread. And I've been wanting to make this video for like 2 years now. I've got so much footage for this video that I have compiled over the course of several years. And it's going to involve me having to attempt to recreate a very specific type of bread bun, basically. I also got very sick at the end of last year, and we determined that one of the things that was causing me to be very sick at the end of last year is a sensitivity to wheat. How the hell am I gonna make this video? Anyways, but pretzel roll sounds really good, and I've got my mental wheels are turning as to whether or not I can figure out how to make a pretzel roll that is equally delicious but also wheat free. Because I've baked soft pretzels a grand total of once. I baked them on stream. That was the only cooking stream I've ever done, which was a really, really fun time. Many, many years ago. I think it was possibly my very first stream anniversary, in fact. But yeah. That sounds really... 4 pretzel roll sandwiches in the last 24 hours honestly sounds like living your best life. Because that sounds very, very nice. SB says it started in elementary school when they had ham and cheese on a pretzel roll. Oh Oh my goodness. I need to, I'm gonna have to, oh man. I'm gonna have to figure out whether or not I can make a wheat-free pretzel roll, because that sounds real good. Ugh. Because I do know how to make pretzels. When I say I do know how to make pretzels, I haven't made pretzels the fully traditional way, because for fully traditional pretzel making, you use like food grade lye, aka sodium hydroxide, aka the same stuff that you use, alongside an oil to make soap, which is what gives it that distinctive flavor and like really nicely colored crust. Because it's a highly alkaline substance. Basically, you make a solution of this lye with boiling water, and you give your pretzels like your pretzel dough a dip before baking it in the oven, which will give it that nice sort of exterior crust that is so yummy. But you can get a comparable effect if you don't want to buy an entire thing of like food grade lye by taking an amount of baking soda and baking it in the oven for a few minutes, and basically treating it to this very high temperature just in and of itself on like sort of a foil lined baking sheet increases the alkalinity of the baking soda. So it's not quite as pronounced of effect as you'd get, but it also it feels a little bit safer, and it also means you don't have to buy a massive thing of a very specialist food ingredient that you wouldn't otherwise have in your house. So yeah, gazillion out of 10 do recommend doing that, and I'm gonna need to see if I can make those, because that sounds so good. I love pretzel. Oh man. I keep being reminded of all the things I can't eat. And, like, for the most part, it's fine. But sometimes it's just like, aw, nuts. I'm gonna have to bake that if I want to eat it now. And the texture's probably gonna be a bit different. Ho-hum. But it's not insurmountable. It's just a pain in the backside. I see there's some discussion of the difference, converting Fahrenheit to Celsius. I have a very rudimentary grasp of the difference between, well, I recognize, sort of there is a chasm of difference between the two, but I have a very rudimentary understanding of what, how to convert one to the other, if that makes sense. But, I know that in Fahrenheit it boils at something like 220 degrees, maybe, I want to say, or is it 212? It's one of the two. I don't know what freezing point is. One of the things I liked about having to learn Celsius growing up is that things freeze at 0 and boil at 100. It's very easy to remember that. All of the other bits in the middle, are as confusing as ever. Like, even now, if I asked you, like, oh, what's the weather like outside? And you just tell me, like, oh, it's 12 degrees. I don't know how to dress to be comfortable for 12 degrees. Because what 12 degrees feels like to me depends on a variety of factors. What's the humidity level like? What are the wind speeds like? Telling me it's 12 degrees doesn't tell me bupkis. Anyways. SB says, pretzels are kind of a big thing here in central Pennsylvania. Ooh, central Pennsylvania! Oh, man, you must get a ton of really good local food in Pennsylvania. Like pretzels and stuff. Farmers market like places and street festival like places have some of the best with Amish vendors selling pretzels. Yeah. Delightful. Love that for you. I think there is, I guess, kind of like a very old, like, several centuries old school, like, German influence in that part of the country because of, like, sort of, the Amish communities and stuff having many moons ago emigrated from places like Germany, bringing with them delicious stuff like pretzels, and love that for you. Yum, delicious. So good. Anyways, it might be simpler, but it's still confusing to me, says SB. Well, of course it does. Of course it is, because it's not it's not what you grew up learning, so it's not what you have like memorized. That makes sense. In the same way that if somebody tells me that like, oh, it's about 20 miles from here, I'm like, what? And we do here in the UK, we do use miles to indicate things like, you know, speed limits and distances and that kind of thing, in terms of like driving and what have you. And if you tell me that some place is like 20 miles from my house, I'm like, that that tells me nothing. If I were to take a bus, how long would that take me? You have to put it into some context I can actually understand with my mind brain, because miles may as well be, you know, gerflurms. It doesn't mean jack to me. I'm sorry. Anyways, 32 degrees is freezing in Fahrenheit. Thank you, SB. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. Samantha says, we should confuse / piss off everyone by officially changing all temperature scales to use rank. No. People would rebel. People would hate that. I mean, I wasn't alive for it, but I have seen like news features of the day when British currency changed to the decimal system, which it was not previously. And oh man, were some old people real mad about that. Some people were, you know, like, yes, I think it makes an awful lot more sense. And then some people were like, no, I hate it. I'm confused. Which fair enough, because you're changing something that you've, you know, obviously grown accustomed to, and suddenly having to grow accustomed to something else after like 50 years of your life or whatever is a pain in the backside. I get it. Oh, SB says one of my favorite foods of all time are cinnamon sugar pretzels. Oh, I'm mad I'm not eating that for dinner. Those sound real good. Not above my beloved strawberries, though. Oh, strawberries are so good. One of the, you know, actually saying that, I was thinking about this earlier. What am I going to do for my birthday this year? And I think I'm probably going to make a pie. Because I feel like I can make a decent pie without wheat. I had a birthday pie for my birthday last year, just because, I don't know, we talked, I think we discussed it a bit, and my mother wanted to get me a birthday baked good, because I was visiting my family over my birthday period, and she said, would you like a birthday cake or a birthday pie? And I said, you know what, pie sounds real good, let's go for a birthday pie. So I had a strawberry rhubarb pie, and it was so good. I think I want to make myself one of those this year. Because I usually like having something with strawberries for my birthday, because strawberries have come into season around my birth time, which is the end of May. And I love when strawberries come into season. I eat so many of them because they're so good. I'm with you on the miles, says SB. Absolutely baffling. When we drive to the beach, says SB, my dad keeps updating us on the miles, and it's like that means literally diddly squat to me. I need to know it in minutes. Yeah, exactly. Why don't you just say it's about 10 minutes away? Anyways. Samantha says, changing something from a system where there are 15 cogs to a fillet and 12.5 fillets to a donkrum, and replacing it with a complicated system of having 100 penneth to a pound, who could cope? I do love that good old base 100 system. It's just, listen, it's nice round numbers. It's nice round numbers. It's not harder. I can't imagine trying to go like in the opposite direction and having to understand things like shillings and pence and stuff as a person who, you know, has had the like 100 pennies is in a pound system. You would be like, this is so much worse. This makes so much less sense. Why would you do this, you know? Anyways. SB says another streamer's mom got him a bouquet of pickles. Okay, that also... SB, you are naming things that sound so good to me right now. I love it. I love it, like a quality pickle situation. When I was in Denmark last year, I did the Scandinavian hot dog stand situation, because my goodness, the hot dog stand situation in that country is delightful. And I got myself a veggie dog, and it was so good. But the best part of the veggie dog, hands down, was the pickles. Those pickles were amazing. So much so that while I was not able to bring pickles home with me because I didn't have any, like, I only had carry-on luggage and they were too big, I did manage to find, there is a shop in London and they do sell Danish pickles. And I ordered some Danish pickles from them and they're so good. Sometimes I'm just like, oh man, I'm just gonna eat like 4 pickles. This is a good life. Anyways, SB went strawberry picking last summer. Jealous. Very jealous. I miss strawberry picking, but we the closest place where I could go strawberry picking is a farm that is actually really not that far from where I live. But there are no bus stops anywhere near it, and it is like a good 45 minutes down a country road that doesn't have any footpaths, and just feels too dangerous to attempt to walk to and from. So we just never go, and it's so sad because I would love to go to there. Anyways. Oh yeah, Samantha points out we used to have a halfpenny, which is half of a penny. Which, anyways, SB says, I thought you were gonna say you were in a hot dog eating contest. Oh no, I could not hot dog eating contest. I can manage 4 tofu-furters if they're not like in bread, with some ketchup dip, but that's about it. I would fail horribly at a hot dog eating contest. I do like a good tofu-furter though. I had tofu-furters for dinner, a small number of days ago, maybe it was Tuesday, I don't know. Anyways, Samantha says, a penny is an already meaninglessly valueless coin. Who needs half of one? Well, I suppose inflation hadn't struck quite as badly at that point, I guess. But, SB asks what a tofu-furter is. Okay, when I say tofu-furter, it is, if you consider like a frankfurter, like a hot dog, but it's made out of tofu. Or like it's the vegetarian version. So it's a tofu frankfurter, so it's a tofu-furter. That's what I mean when I say tofu-furter. Sorry, sometimes I say things that are in my, sort of household dialect and realize not everyone understands what I mean. Because it's like common linguistic knowledge between myself and my partner. And when I'm not streaming, that's the person I communicate with the most frequently. So he understands, like, the dumb shit I say, but not necessarily everybody else does. Anyways, Samantha says, on the subject of awkward unit conversions, XKCD recently had a joke, about uncancelled units and expressing a ceiling's height as 50 gallons per square foot! And I was just thinking, this would just not be an issue in metric. I cannot begin to fathom what is meant by 50 gallons per square foot for a ceiling. I hate it. I hate it so much. No. Anyways. Oh goodness, that is no. That is no. I don't like that. Anyways. I want to try and insert some foliage into this artwork. It's about 6.8 feet. I never would have been able to guess that in a gazillion years, Samantha. Not in a gazillion plus one even. That is just, I would never have figured it out. Hesby says, I think the first time I saw a halfpenny was in the return slot of a coin counting machine in a store. Wow. That's super random, and I love it. I don't think I've ever seen one, at least certainly not in circulation. But occasionally you get random weird, like, old currencies. And I tend to hoard them when I find them because I think they're neat. But But yeah, that's wacky. I do have, when every once in a while, like they updated some currencies here in the last few years. Like I think they changed the design of like the pound coin or something. And I definitely have at least one of like the old one because I'm like, this is a piece of history now. It's special. It's not that it's worth anything, and I intend to like sell it as an antique one day because it's not worth it's not even worth the currency that it is because I don't think you can use them anymore. I just think they're neat. Anyways, I need to go BRB, so I will be RB. We did not have half pennies in Canada at all, SB. No. We just had regular pennies. Anyways, I need to BRB, so I will BRB. Enjoy the BRB screen. I shall be RB. We are back. SB says, Sammy, do something. I'm having a mathematical crisis. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't understand maths either. So it's, yeah, Samantha was saying gallons per square feet. It is expressing length in a really awkward way. It is extremely awkward. SB says I was picturing stacking those blue water jugs on top of each other up to the ceiling. Oh, goodness gracious. My head hurts. But, it's been a very long time since I excelled at maths. Certainly. Believe it or not, I was a gifted child, for some period of my, how shall I say, youthful education, I suppose. Well, that passed. as it often does, when it turns out you have undiagnosed neurodivergence and just stop actually being able to motivate yourself intrinsically to do your coursework when it stops being interesting to you. Oops. But listen, sorry, I was actually just thinking about that the other day, that, I went from getting like top grades in maths when I was a student to almost not passing maths the following year because we'd sort of moved into subject matter that just no longer interested me, and I'd found other things that I was super like laser focused into, and I was therefore not able to like will myself to actually just get the coursework done. And yeah, I did really poorly all of a sudden. Surprise! And, mentally chalked it up to, well, I guess I've just chosen to pursue the arts instead. And, other people were probably just like, you're obviously very bright, you just need to apply yourself, but no one ever explained to me how you do that. So, anyways. Samantha says, in response to expressing a fridge as having a number of kilowatt hours per day, which is an equally awkward unit, but actually usable given energy companies' insistence on expressing energy consumption in the most bizarre format imaginable. Yeah, indeed. I guess, I don't know enough about how, like, energy stuff works to understand how its usage is calculated in a practical way. I do have one of those meters that they stick in your house and tells you that it costs 5p to boil a kettle. But I placed it in the kitchen because the man came into my house, even though the electric company had said that they didn't need to access the like inside of the property to install stuff. The man just comes into my house. I hated that, and I gave them feedback being like, hey, you need to give people a heads up if someone's gonna come inside your house, because he just literally barged in and was like, okay, where's your kitchen? And I'm like, whoa, what the flip is I don't feel safe right now. Anyways, there's probably a word for that. The don't come in my house without prior warning, struggle. Anyways, I think that's just, it isn't polite. But I have one of those in my house because they made us get one, and I have hidden it Because I know if I had it like on display so that I can make smart choices about saving electricity, I would just get really panicky and paranoid about using any electricity at all, because I'm like, oh no, I boiled the kettle and the numby went up. Panic, panic, panic. I don't know what a normal amount of usage is in a day. So I would just get scared, never put the heat on, even if it's like 13 degrees in the house. I would not drink tea. I would eat exclusively food that I don't need to warm up. I would, the bare minimum of keeping my phone charged, yada, 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 because scared. I don't love that. Anyways, SB says I largely do use math to do price comparing in my head these days. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah. How much are these two items costing per like 100 grams to try and figure out which one's the better value? That's about it. While I don't know much about measuring electricity, says SB, kilowatts per hours seems more normal than something like a joules. Oh, I don't know. Watch it, pal. I'm streaming here, says SB. Hey, I'm streaming here. But it's not kilowatts per hour, it's kilowatt hours, which is different. Samantha says, so power expressed as kilowatts is the rate of energy used. 1 kilowatt is 1,000 joules of energy used per second. A kilowatt hour is the amount of energy used by something by expending 1 kilowatt of power over an hour. So it's just expressing a plain energy just awkwardly. It is this, that's awkward. That's awkward and my head hurts. I'm gonna try and sketch in some biddies while we talk about how the heck we quantify, like, energy and stuff. I've decided I want to have a tree here, and I'm going to put a bench next to the tree, because a bench is a fairly nice and simple thing for me to draw. Like, so this is an exceedingly awkward bench, but that's fine. Maybe this bench is just a very awkward little bench. Also, it's going to be in the mist, so you're not going to be able to see too much of it, so it's fine. 1 kilowatt hour is 3,600,000 joules. Or 3.6 Mary Janes. Yep. SB says, I wonder how many pretzels it'd take to power this lamp. That's a great question. That is a great question. You should try plugging a pretzel into a light bulb and see what you get. I mean, you can make a battery out of a potato, so why not? Or something like that, if I remember science classes correctly. I probably don't, but yeah, never mind. Anyways, do I want to stick a tree off in the distance here? I do. It's barely visible. But there's a tree sort of here-ish. It's probably quite a big tree, but it's a reasonable distance far away from us here where we are stood. We'll pop a little shadow under this this little guy as well. And maybe there's a tree here. Just a happy little tree situation. I think anything further away than that is going to be very, very faint and hard to see indeed, which is fun. Now, how the heck am I going to paint this stuff in is my next question. And the answer is probably with some measure of difficulty, because some of it is going to be, as evidenced by this photo, real difficult to see. I'm going to use, I think, this color, because it's the sort of grayest of the colors I have, or maybe this color, maybe a combination of the two, but we want something that's fairly sort of gray and foggy, I suppose. So let me see what I can mix up. But once we've mixed that up, and I am going to use, I think, a quite small brush for this because some of these details are also going to be pretty teeny tiny. SB asks if you can use milk to power cars like in Phil of the Future. It seems so logical back. I don't know. Yeah, Samantha points out even if you could, it would be horrendously and very inefficient. I think I would rather just have milk. I think I would rather just enjoy a tasty, tasty glass of milk. Having had a lactase pill, of course, because not only am I sensitive to wheat, I'm also lactose intolerant. I swear, like, my immune system is just angry at everything now. It's just like, oh, you like this ingredient? Well, tough biscuits. It's gonna make you feel like you're gonna die. How do you enjoy that, you ding dong? Anyways, sorry, I'm okay. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Okay. This is definitely sort of a violetish bluish shadow color. Is that why it's called Fight Milk? That's not why it's called Fight Milk, because I wasn't lactose intolerant when we developed Fight Milk. That it's called Fight Milk because the first time I picked up the game Hollow Knight, I was like, okay, whatever this like substance is that is sort of my like the health giving stuff in Hollow Knight looked so much like milk to me. Just like the fluidity of it and the fact that it's sort of a like an opaque white color, I was like, is this milk? Are we powered by milk here? Is this some kind of fight milk? And I was like, aha, it's fight milk now. And that's why that is why we call it fight milk. And now you know. Oh gosh. Okay. How is this color doing for me? I don't really have anywhere I can just like can I just swatch this out on the back of it? Oh, actually I think that's looking pretty good. That's a good, I think, sort of shadowy cooler. So let me just fade that right down to barely perceptible amount of color. Almost no color is happening here, and that is exactly what I want. Because it should be so subtle it's barely visible. That's our goal for the furthest away elements of this piece. So I think I'm going to pop tree sort of here. Which, again, by the time this dries, I don't even know if it's going to be visible. But, you know, sometimes you need to implement these barely visible elements. Just even if it's just because I know that they're there, they will make a difference in the final piece. I hope, anyways. I very sincerely hope that they will. I may be lying to myself to make myself feel better about the fact that some of this is going to be pretty pretty faint indeed. There's still like some little patches of foliage kind of kicking around on this tree. So let me just plop that in there and then there we go. You can just about see there's a tree there, I think. Which is exactly as it should be. It is the ghost of paint, says Samantha. Yes, absolutely. Hello, Aoife. Welcome in. How are you doing? It's wonderful to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. SB wants to know how you spell color. Color. C-O-L-O-U-R. Color. Yeah. I thought Canada spelled color properly already, says Samantha. Yes, we do. We do indeed. Sometimes the subtle elements can make all the difference, says SB. Thank you. Thank you for seeing the vision and understanding what I'm trying to achieve here. I appreciate that. Very much I do. Got another tree over here. Can you see it? Not really. But that's okay. I know it's there. And I do think that I want to be able to capture some subtleties here. Some of this might be covered up by like larger trees appearing sort of closer to the foreground. There's going to be a tree sort of here, so it's kind of, this tree is kind of disappearing into kind of the window frame there, so we can't see a whole lot of it, but that's okay. And to be honest, we can't really, once we get past about here, I think everything's just gone. SB says people keep calling me out, but I like the U. You know what? I like the removal of the U from words like color and flavor are such an interesting thing. It was basically the developer of the first sort of like official American English dictionary decided to remove the superfluous U's from words like color, flavor, humor. Just honestly, just to be different. It was literally just, we want to be different, so we are reshaping our English to not have these letters in them and make it, I don't know, I guess more efficient. But you know, like, taking that to its logical conclusion, that's how you end up with things like drive-through, where it's THRU instead of drive THROUGH. Which is also fine. But I do think it's an interesting, unnecessary change, really, just to be different. They say superfluous, says Samantha, but I always want to pronounce COLOR color as color. Because it's different. Anyways. I think ultimately, whatever feels normal to you in language or, you know, sort of other things like that is whatever you were brought up with, right? So, I'm sure that like Americans and people who spell it COLOR will see color and be like, it looks like color. Why I don't pronounce it color, so that doesn't make sense. But it does make sense if that's how you grew up spelling it. Anyway. Anyways, I'm sorry, I need to blow my nose again. I am still getting over being sick. I'm definitely over the worst of it. I will be streaming tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Can't decide whether or not I'll be starting on time. I may end up pushing it back by like half an hour or something just because I need to rest because I'm baby and I'm really tired. But we shall see. I'm gonna mute the mic for just a second because I need to blow my nose and I don't want to subject you to that. Anyways, oh no, SB says I think one of the Discord's servers I'm in just got bot spammed. Oh, just got a bot or spammed. No. Steam gift card links or a virus, probably one of those. Oh god. Okay, if you get a sus link from anybody on Discord, do not open it. If you can check with them outside Discord and find out whether or not their account's been compromised, you might want to do that as well. Also, I've heard that there is something going around where people are getting emails supposedly from Discord that look super legit but are a scam. So if you get anything like that saying that like, oh, your Discord account has been suspended, please click this link, absolutely go contact the Discord sort of tech support or whatever you would call it within Discord itself or on like social medias, rather than clicking any links in the email itself, because it's not legit and you could be in danger. So please don't you do it. Be safe. Anyways, no nose ASMR says no, absolutely not. Open all links on Discord, no question. No, Samantha, no. Serious. This is a serious matter of safety. I don't want y'all to get your accounts compromised. Okay? No, stop. Listen. No. My foot is down. Stop it. Anyways. I love you, but please be safe. Okay. I'm just gonna ignore you all and just paint because you're making me stressed. And I don't like that. So that's enough. That's enough of that. Okay. So this tree is a big thick boy, but we can't see a lot of it because there's all this snow here on the window frame. It's kind of covering it up. But I can still put in lots of the little tree bits that are sticking out the top here. That are again just barely visible. Thanks to this this incredibly intense fog. Anyways, I'm on mute. Luckily, luckily Sam is relaying Sammy's recommendation. No. Samantha is not representing my thoughts and feelings at all. In fact, I'm going to pop in. Is not representing my recommendations at all. Please be actually safe. Thank you. That's better. Anyways. Please. PLS. Please. Okay. Moving on. Moving on. And indeed, I'm moving on. Okay. I would like to add a little bit more depth to this these barely visible elements here. You can just see this one up top there. Okay. This one a little bit more visible than the last. Some little bits of visible foliage just there. Just trolling. I hear you. No worries, says Aoife. Okay, I did not know, but thank you for letting me know. Anyways, I hope you're having a good Thursday. I am having a nice Thursday because I'm currently painting a happy little park bench. And I think that's nice. Look at this happy little bench. Is it a good bench? It's not the greatest bench anyone's ever painted, but listen, it is a very foggy situation out here, so you can't see much of it anyways. Oh no, Eva says I'm struggling. I've been on my new job for 4 days, and one of those days we were sent home because of snow. A snow day, though. How exciting. How exciting. Love a good snow day. That's rad. Okay. There's another little tree over here. What flavor of tree will this tree be? I think I'm going to do another one of these. Do in some little bits of foliage and some lightly disturbed snow just beneath. Delightful. Love to see it. Oh, Aoife says, while the job is hard and I'm hurt all over, I love my colleagues and working hard is kind of fun, to be honest. But I just can't deal with having this little time at home. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an adjustment when you're not used to it. I can definitely see that. I can definitely relate, for sure. But I hope that you're having a good time. I'm glad that it is fun. And I love that your coworkers are nice as well. All of these things are good things, for sure. Love that for you. Okay. I've decided there's some more stuff in the background that I want to add in that I needed to. I think was there something here? I can just kind of barely see some bits of a tree that's hidden by this window frame. thusly. That I have now corrected. Good, good, good. And I've got some tree stuff over here, some foliage, I feel like I want something else over here, this sort of area, maybe. But I might add that in later, because it's going to be a little bit closer to us. The, the perspective havers of the piece. The audience, as 'twere. I need to hopefully fairly seamlessly fade this little walking path here into being a little bit more visible as it gets closer to the viewer. But I want to try and make sure that we get a nice seamless fade and not sort of what looks like sort of steps, where we go from one intensity of value to the next. Aoife says, I'm eating not yet done roast veggies because I couldn't be bothered to roast them any longer. The house is dirty, dishes, laundry, worried about my plants getting too little love. Oh dear. I think, like all of these things, it's about finding that balance, and you will. It may take time, but you will. And sometimes things might just get a little bit different, and that's okay too. Anyways, okay, so I think we've got sort of a nice path sort of fading into existence here. Yeah, Samantha says, this is the hardest aspect of work, getting home with so little energy that you can barely manage the basics of self-care, let alone doing anything else. That's the thing that I hate about it the most. I genuinely don't know how, I don't know how my parents had full-time, 9-to-5 employment and managed to, maintain a pristine house and cook from, meals from scratch almost every night. Because I don't do that much work, and I can't do that, I absolutely cannot do that, and and I don't even do as much, just regular job stuff as they were doing. Certainly, so there was a while that I think not being neurodivergent helped somewhat. So I've heard, apparently, but yeah, when I finish, I used to have a 9-to-5 office job where I was in the office every day, 5 days a week. And wouldn't you know it, actually, when I stopped doing that, when I was able to stop doing that, suddenly a lot of these, symptoms that I had that the doctors couldn't explain all went away. And it turns out it's just because I was exhausted all the time because I was not built to be in an office for, 8 hours a day. Plus an additional, sort of couple of hours on top of that commuting to and from that office. Yeah, no. Turns out that I just don't have it in me to do that. So having to do that made me have symptoms because I was too tired all the time. And weirdly, I don't have nearly as many, panic attacks or just randomly cry out of nowhere anymore because I'm not in a continuous state of exhaustion. Huh. Go figure. I still don't have it in me to hoover the house every 3 days or however often you're supposed to do it, but hey, you know what? At least I don't have, mysterious muscle twitches anymore, so I'm happy with that. Anywho. Eva says, I think I want to try to pull through until I paid my siblings back the money they lent me, and then reduce to 30 or even less hours. I do not need that much money. And you know what? That's fair enough. If you can afford to do less, then by all means, I think that's probably a great idea. I'm always looking for it because sadly, I cannot afford not to have some kind of a normal job, but I am, desperately seeking, when I look to move on from what my day job is at the moment, and possibly move somewhere else, I am looking so hard for something that is A, something that's in my wheelhouse, and B, something that isn't full time. And they're all full time, and I'm like, no, please don't make me like three. I can manage 3 days. I can manage 3 days. I would rather do 2.5. Which will not give me very much money, but it will give me time and energy to do things like actually work on art and maybe, I don't know, maybe dust the house. That's all I can do. A Roomba would help. I would love a Roomba. Samantha says, I would like a pet Roomba. I would anthropomorphize the heck out of that thing. Oh, 100%. I have discussed this with my moderator slash spouse, and if we had one of those Roomba type things, we would be putting googly eyes on it, and I would be giving it a name. I did hear of someone recently who has one, and they named it Roomberto, and I'm like, oh, that's adorable. That's too cute. I love it. I don't know Roomberto, but I want to befriend them. That is so stinking adorable. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it so much. Anyways, I'm going to add in some texture to this path. But I do want to give it a nice fade out, obviously, as we get further away. It's going to be less intense, less colored in, more kind of disappearing into the back, importantly. So I'm hoping I can maybe do this just by building some layers of it, and see how that works for us. Would I be excommunicated if I named one Hetty? Personally, I would love that. I would love that personally, but maybe that's just me. Aoife agrees with Samantha. I don't know the term UBI in English. Yeah, I know what UBI is, but I think this is something humanity really should adopt. We would call it UBI. Yeah, exactly. Ubi, as I like to say. I would call it Ubi for short. I almost call it a hover. Hover around. Such a cute little jingle. Oh, bless. Very cute. Very, very cute. But yeah, love that. No, I would very much love a little Roomberto to just doot around and probably judge me for the amount of dust that this home accrues, which is not a not insignificant amount to my great annoyance. It just keeps coming. No matter what I do, it just keeps coming back. It just keeps coming back. I hate it. I hate it so much. I feel like things are starting to develop and make a little bit more sense with this piece, with this pathway. I feel like I might even be able to inject a tiny amount of color into the foregroundiest bits of this pathway. So I've added just a little bit of my sort of reddish brown color to it. And I'm going to pop that onto the sort of foregroundiest areas of it. And let that kind of just fade out, hopefully fairly organically, as we get further away. Yeah, I think that kind of works. Anyways. Would be BGE here, says Aoife. Regardless, I think it's a great idea. At least one of our parties is in favor, I believe, but not a big one, of course, says Aoife. Yeah, absolutely. Samantha says, I don't think any UK party, even the most left-wing ones, even suggests UBI as a policy. They don't. That is not something that feels like it's on sort of the cultural, political landscape here, which is a real shame, because I do genuinely think that it, could be a really positive thing. But there's a lot of problems in this country. There's just a lot of problems in this country. That's the end of the sentence. I don't want to I don't want to get onto too much of a soapbox about sort of the general state of the country, but anyways, SB says my room gets so dusty it annoys me so much. I like it dim and my desk mat is black, so it's hard to see until I turn on the ceiling fan light, and it's a shock sometimes. Oh my god. So one thing that I really regret about this house is that we have a lot of like Lego and other sort of little figurines and collectibles and tchotchkes and things that we like looking at that bring us joy. But my god, all of these things is so freaking dusty so fast, and it's so hard to hoover them because like little Lego figures are so lightweight that if I try and like hoover the dust off of them, they will just get sucked up into the hoover. And I don't want that for them. So what am I supposed to... Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, bear with 1 second. Sorry everybody. I'm gonna have to pop on the technical difficulty screen while I troubleshoot our camera again. I was just really getting into the flow of doing paints and stuff finally, and it decided to poop its little pants here, but never mind. We're gonna try and get back online in just a second. In the meantime, let me catch up with chat. Don't connect via Wi-Fi, connect via the USB cable that you're plugged into, please and thank you. Do not connect to the Wi-Fi. Ugh, because that's what makes it be frame ratey and bad. Anyways, Samantha says, it's so annoying. We have done research that shows that both UBI, that is the Universal Basic Income, and 4-day work weeks leads to increased productivity, and yet they are not implemented because no reason is ever actually given. Yeah, absolutely. I have been in situations in workplaces where, like, people have, like, said, like, overwhelmingly research indicates, for instance, that, people are genuinely more productive and have better quality of life if they are, if like a 4-day work week is implemented as standard, or that, open plan offices are like the least conducive environment to like overall like quality of work, productivity, and worker mental health. And the responses from like managements that I've heard to that in work roles is that like, well, obviously I don't personally work in the open plan environment, but I think it's great because blah 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 blah, and I haven't seen any of this research, so I'm going to pretend that I don't believe it. It's like, okay, what if I present you with the research? Like, here's some research articles you can read. What then? And they'll probably just huff and puff because, like, open plan offices are cheaper and also make for easier surveillance and micromanagement, I guess. Neither of which actually make people work better. They make them more stressed. It's a worse environment. But also, yeah, having a universal basic income isn't going to incentivize people not to work. Here's the thing that I think people who worry about things like universal basic incomes and, basically providing people with the ability to, like, live without being terrified of I guess it incentivizes workplaces to actually be somewhere that people want to work, but ultimately most people don't, even if people think that they don't want to work, it's because they've been working crappy jobs that they don't enjoy. Most people do want to work. Most people, almost everyone wants to work, wants to feel productive, wants to feel like they're doing something meaningful with their time. And to then reap the benefits of that, like, income, social stuff, just getting to flex your intellectual, physical muscles by doing things. People enjoy working, for the most part, if they're allowed to, sort of be able to choose what they get to do, whether or not they stay in a workplace that is toxic, for instance. But when you're in a situation where you're like, well, I can't quit my job because if I quit my job, I won't have any money and there's no guarantee that I'll find anything else. You know, that's when people don't like working. And when people don't like working, they are worse at work. So, you know, like work like management and governments and that kind of thing that just flagrantly ignore the fact that like a happy workforce is a better, like smarter, more efficient, more productive workforce, a less off sick workforce, a more present workforce because they're not, you know, getting mysteriously ill due to stress all the time, is in everyone's best interest. But, you know, it's that is the kind of thing that's just like long term enough of an effect that it's like, okay, but no, because this would cost us more money in the short term. So they don't want to do it. Anyways. Let me catch up with chat. Sorry. Soapbox. Yay! Fun stuff. Hoovering is what they call vacuuming here in the UK. We refer to it by the brand name, even though ours is, I think it's a Dyson. We did not buy it. We inherited it from someone who did not like it, because ours was borked. And they were like, well, we bought this one and we don't like it, so you can have it. So it's not, yeah. Anyways, long story short, in the way that, like, you blow your nose with tissues here in the UK, but back in Canada, you blow your nose with a Kleenex, which is just the name of a brand of tissues. This is Tesco brand tissues because I'm not forking out for Kleenex brand. Are you kidding me? I personally actually think that they're worse. They make my nose feel weird. I don't like it. Anyways, Samantha says, what it would do is make a lot of workplaces have to improve conditions because at the moment a lot of them are shitty and rely on the fact that people either work for them or starve to death. That's it exactly. You know, especially if you work somewhere, like, for instance, I feel like in the there's one big employer where in, like, the city where I live, that employs the largest percentage of people who live here, and generally I do think is a very good place to work, but I feel like there are improvements that could be made, and there isn't that much incentive to make those improvements necessarily because, like, well, where else are you gonna work? If you want to work anywhere else in the field that you work in, you're gonna have to move to another city and hope that it's better, you know, which doesn't give them a lot of incentive. And is frankly kind of frustrating. It's kind of like, well, you know, it's us or bust. So good luck with that. Yeah, makes me a little gumpy, if I'm being honest. Make me a little bit gumpy about that. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, that's about it. It's just that a lot of places aren't incentivized to be a better place to work because they know that, you know, well, you can either work here or you can not work. And if you can't work, well, but if you felt like for instance, you know, I know people who are looking for work at the moment, and some people spend months and months just, you know, like, who have good qualifications, just like trying to get CVs out there and you know, not getting a lot back, probably applying for, like, various ghost jobs out there kind of thing, where and I hate that apparently workplaces are doing this now. I don't know if it's as much of a thing here in the UK because I haven't looked for jobs in a really long time, but this thing where places will, because they know it looks good to say that they're like expanding their workforce, so they'll put job postings out for positions that don't actually exist, so that they can say that they're looking to expand, which looks good, which makes, you know, like, which make, like, line go up for their stocks and that kind of thing. And then, you know, when questioned as to why they haven't actually hired anyone for these positions, they're not going to be like, oh, well, that's because the position doesn't actually exist. We just made it up. They'll say things like, oh, we just haven't found anyone suited for the position yet, so we're still, the search is ongoing, which is a load of old nonsense. The position doesn't exist, and they're just lying to make themselves look like they're growing, which is awful because it's a waste of it's blatant disrespect for people who are actually trying to, you know, have jobs. Because it's like, well, you spent X amount of time filling out this application. Tough biscuits, you stink. You know, it's just, it's, anyways. But yeah, it's a lot easier to say, accept the possibility that you might spend 6 months looking for a new job when you know that you're not going to, like, die of starvation if you have to spend 6 months looking for a job. Whereas, you know, if you're like, I don't know whether or not I'll be able to get employment insurance and it's going to take a really long time to get that while I'm looking for another job, well then, you're more likely to stay where you are even if it sucks butt. Anyway, Samantha says the fact that the wealthy are so heavily opposed to any improvement in people's living conditions is going to end bad. I hope it ends. I hope it ends. Because I would love to exist in a life where I'm not just continually stressed about money. I would love that. By the way, I have a shop. Just FYI. Was that a good shoehorn for a shameless plug? I don't know. My marketing skills are garbo. And this may be because, and this may, I don't know whether or not this is a TISM thing, but I just is, I think it might be actually a bit of demand avoidance. But oftentimes if I see the same, like, ads for the same products or services over and over again, it actually makes me want to use them less because I feel like they're making demands of me. And as soon as I feel like they're making demands of me, I don't want to capitulate to those demands. Because no, you can't tell me what to do. Get in the bin. That's just the way that my my sort of instinctual brain has worked my entire life. I am planning to do some cleaning, for instance. I am like 5 minutes away from finishing whatever task I'm doing, and then I'm going to go do some cleaning. If someone in that intervening 5 minutes says, "Hey, would you mind cleaning the thing that I was planning to clean?" All of a sudden it's like, well, I can't do it now. Nope. Because they asked me to do it, and suddenly it feels like a demand, and a demand feels like a threat, and now I don't want to do it anymore. So, good job. This is an extremely normal phenomenon for me, and it's deeply annoying. I used to, notably when I was a child, you know, sometimes if we were visiting someone, if we were having dinner with somebody, and then, you know, it was sort of the end of the visit, the grown-ups are talking and saying, "Oh, you know, thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for having us." And I am about to attempt to interject to say, you know, like, "Thank you." But before I'm able to find that conversational, like, gap in conversation where I can jump in and be like, "Thank you," my parent says to me, "What do you say?" Little 5-year-old me is suddenly like, "Thank you." And I hate it. I hate it so much. And that's, I think that's the combination of suddenly something that I was motivated to do has become a demand, but also suddenly, thank you, parent. Now it looks like I wouldn't have known to do that myself, even though I'm a very polite little child. Yeah, anyways, pathological demand avoidance is often linked with the TISM, says Samantha. Hell yeah. I'll be honest, I've always hated the term pathological demand avoidance because it just makes it sound like the name of the term makes it sound like you just don't want to do anything. Like, I want to do stuff. It's just that if it feels like a demand is being placed on me to do something, even if it's something that I was already motivated to do in the first place, and usually it is, my somewhere in my little, like, lizard brain interprets that request as a threat. And now I don't want to do it anymore. It is a really goofy little feature, and I don't love it. I mean, listen, no doctor has confidently asserted that I'm not autistic, so anyways. Um ugh. Anywho. What's for dinner, everybody? What are y'all having for dinner? Do you have any exciting dinner plans that you want to share? I would love to hear about them. I am having I'm having a very sophisticated grown-up dinner tonight. Um by which I mean I am having a delicious plate of gluten-free fish fingies and what they call hash brown bites, but what I, as a Canadian, would have known as taters. I didn't know you could get these in this country, and then I found them on Tesco's website, and I've never been more excited about anything in my whole life. Um, because now they may be I haven't cooked these yet, so they may be completely different, but they look a lot like taters. And if you don't know what taters are, imagine the contents of like one of those triangular hash browns that you get with like breakfast at a restaurant that does a full English. And imagine that it is the size of a small cylinder. It's like a little, maybe like the size of this thing or a little bit smaller than this. So the surface area of crispy to like fluffy potato interior is different, but the actual makeup of it is the same. And I grew up with like my grandma making us these, and they were so good, and I'm so excited. Anyways, hello Mira, welcome in. How are you doing? It's wonderful to see you. Welcome in. Hello. Samantha says, I also have a pet peeve of things that are demands being phrased as though they are requests. Oh, mood. Yeah, potato croquettes, says Samantha. Smaller than croquettes. Smaller than croquettes. Let me see if I can... Because I feel like a croquette is more kind of... A croquette is bigger. A croquette is like that, I feel like. Whereas the taters are like smaller than this. Gore Gruntifer Warhammer paint. I don't know why this is just the Warhammer paint that was nearby. They're actually probably more the size of this little scented ink. So I think a tater is smaller than a croquette, but similar in makeup. I feel like the difference between all of these things, the croquettes, the hash browns, the taters, is mostly a ratio of surface area to interior and what you prefer. I'm just excited to try something that I feel like is tater adjacent because I haven't had taters in ever so long, and I'm quite excited about that. I'm just adding some texture to the ground nearer the foreground. I'm going to try and sort of fade that out as we get a little further away. You know, so that hopefully the fog effect works. I hope. Anyways, Samantha says, I do not know if I've ever had a good hash brown, but the ones I have had were bad. The potato was not fluffy. It was weirdly processed and kind of compressed. Oh no. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. That is deeply unfortunate. I do like a good hash brown. Excuse me. Oh. Or it might just be that the texture of the interior of a hash brown just isn't for you. Also very possible. I have had hash browns that I have not enjoyed personally as well, but largely those have been hash browns that like those have been hash browns that were like how shall I say? Just weirdly seasoned. Like doing weird things to the seasoning, which I do not approve of. Anyways, I feel like the seasoning on a hash brown should be fairly simple so that you can then accompany it with a sauce if you want to, or just a bit of salt. It should be like potato, onion, oil. That's all it needs to be. Gumby, hello, welcome in. Hello. Lovely to see you. Welcome. There's a high possibility of that, says Samantha. Yeah, absolutely. There are many foods for whom the texture is bad. Oh, yes. I once had And aspic. I have never felt more uncomfortable in my entire life. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Savory things should not be in jelly. It was disgusting. So this is like, offer me some foods, and the result is Arfid says no. Oof. Yep, that is a fun time. I've actually asked my partner on multiple occasions, am I a picky eater? Because I feel like I'm a pretty adventurous eater, but also there's a raft of things that I know I don't like because I'm adventurous enough to try them, if that makes sense. Oh, if there's onion in it, that would explain why it tastes bad, said Samantha. Well, there you go. They usually put some kind of oniony seasoning into a hash brown, I think, rather than just nothing but potato and, like, salt. Though I did have one that was gross because they put too much black pepper in it. Or white pepper. I'm not a fan of white pepper, generally. If it tastes white peppery, I'm out. Anyways, I need to BRB real quick. I need to get myself another drink because I'm almost out of tea, so I'm gonna probably go fix myself a quick Builders or something, so I shall be back in a couple of minutes. Think about foods you enjoy and not ones that you find icky. I will be back very shortly. BRB, everybody. Hi, I'm back. Hello. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. I have returned with a cup of tea! Hurrah! Anywho, hello Tals, welcome in. Hello. Hope that you are well. Hope you are having a lovely, just the loveliest of lovely days. I'm having a good day. And just trying to work on some painting. Anyway, hi. I did fix myself a lovely oolong tea, but it is still brewing. So I have brought it with me with tea bag. And I've brought a little empty dish with me. I love this dish. This dish makes me happy. I bought this dish from the Danish shop in the shopping center a few months ago. I think just because I thought it was cute. I just love this dish. It's a beautiful dish. It's a good dish. It's useful. It costs like £3. I love it. Anywho, point being, I will decant the tea bag into that dish in a moment. But yes, I have gotten myself a nice milk oolong tea, which is, I don't drink milk oolong very often, but I wish I did, because it's, every time I have it, I'm like, oh, that was really good. I should do that more often. And then I never do, because I'm a silly ding dong, apparently. Okay. Speaking of silliness, let's drop a little shadow underneath this this ghost here. And also let's fill in. I'm wearing a little scarf, so let's color in their little scarf. And the ghost themselves is just white, but I feel like they are kind of off in the misty distance. So I might just kind of obscure them lightly, so they kind of fade into the distance, like so. My moderator / spouse has just come in the door, so I'm going to very quickly go say hello to him. I'll be back in just a second, everybody. Hello, sunshine. Hi, baby. I missed you. I'm at home. How are you doing now?
Okay.
How are you feeling today?
No, I'm feeling great today.
Okay. Do you need a rest?
I felt worse today than I have the last couple of days.
That's probably because you've been working even though you're still getting over a cold. So you're probably tired. Well, listen, if you're too sick to work tomorrow, then stay home. Okay. As long as you're sure. I want you. Okay.
Reassess tomorrow.
Okay. I want you to be okay. Well, welcome home. The kettle's just boiled. I don't know if there's a full cup in it though, but the kettle has just boiled, so have at it if you want to. I love you. Yay! Hi everyone, I'm back. That's a nice looking dish, says Tals. Thank you. Ooh, Samantha says, I don't know what the weather's been, how the weather's been way down south with you, but up here on Sunday it was cold and everything was covered in snow. On Monday, you would not have known that there had been any snow and it was like 15 degrees. Oh my god, it's so weird when it does that. We did not get that at all. But then, honestly, I don't know. At least the bit of Oxfordshire that I'm in almost never gets snow. So we have had none. We had the Silent Hill fog that I'm trying to depict here on, like, I want to say, Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday we had the Silent... Oh, for crying out loud. Well, I'm gonna have to fix this again before I start painting again, but, yeah, we had the Silent Hill fog on Saturday, and other than that, I think it's just been kind of cold and cloudy and occasionally dampish, but mostly just cold. Okay. Technical difficulties, everyone. I do apologize. We're back again. Hello, Elgato, says Tells. I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me relaunch this bad boy, if it'll let me. If it really decides it's not gonna work, I guess that's the end of the stream. But no, I think it'll be okay. Sweetheart Samantha says hi.
Hello, Samantha.
He says hello. Oh, why is it connecting? No, don't connect to the Wi-Fi. Once again, it keeps wanting to, it always wants to connect using the Wi-Fi first. And I'm like, you realize that you are plugged in. I'm going to have to unplug it and then replug it, I think, for it to figure it out. I don't... Oh yeah, what happens if I stick it in airplane mode? Good question. It doesn't seem to have done anything. Let me try again. Okay, there, connected using the USB. I just need to remember to take it back out of airplane mode because this is partially my phone. Hello, computer noises, this tells. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Did you have to hear the doo-doo-doo? Oh, no. Anyways, hopefully we should be back up and running. So let me pop back onto ArtCam. Thingy's crossed. Yay! You can see it again. Hooray. Samantha says, I know y'all had some snow in November, so that's probably your entire snow ration for the season gone already. Oh, I did definitely go run outside and run around in the snow, probably in my pajim jams with my coat on, like once this year, and that was it. That probably was our snow ration for the season. Genuinely, we get like one evening where it snows, or one morning where it snows, and I run outside and I go just exist while it's snowing in the out of doors for like 10 minutes and then come home, and that's all the snow I see for the year. As someone coming from a part of Canada that used to get like reasonable amounts of snowfall, it does feel very weird to be in a place that gets very, very little snow, for sure. Yay, hello, Art says hello. Art says hello. They say hello. It's good to be back. Okay, I'm giving my tea a little stir with the back end of one of my paintbrushes because I didn't bring a spoon with me, because why would I do that? But I just want to give it a little stir up before I have a sip. Hopefully it's good. This is a milk oolong that came from my tea advent calendar, so I don't think I've had this one, so I don't know what to expect. That's a nice, gentle milk oolong. I do like a milk oolong. It's for anyone who isn't familiar with milk oolong, it's not, there isn't milk in it, and I wouldn't advise putting milk in it because it has quite a delicate flavor, but it's something about like the way that the tea leaves are grown, where the tea leaves are grown, and the way that they're processed gives them this like innately slightly sweet, slightly creamy flavor, which is where the milk in milk oolong comes from. But as you can see, it is a clear liquid that is lightly yellowish and has some sparkles on top of it, which is an interesting choice, but okay. But it just tastes like a very soft... I probably could have given it a slightly longer steep. But one of the nice things about this type of oolong tea as well is that you can brew it more than once, and you'll get flavor out of it again if you rebrew the same tea bag to enough of an extent that it is genuinely worth doing. And I do love that for me as well. Anyways, there's some foliage a little bit closer to the foreground of this piece that I want to try and capture now, if I can. So there's a tree over on this side that is a little closer to the front. So I'm creating a somewhat more concentrated hue to paint this in. So, we've got this little tree trunk here. Like so. And I'll just fill that in. So I feel like it's okay if it's a little bit sketchy, because it is a funny old foggy day. Anyways, and it's a cold day as well. At least in the land of this painting, I mean. I don't know what the weather's like where you are. It is fairly cold here, I'd say. But, but it's been fine, I think, weather-wise. I don't know, I haven't really been outside. I'll need to pop to the post box once I've finished streaming to go post a couple of orders that I've had this week that I would like to get out in the post so people can have their stuff and things. Some beautiful soul has gone ahead and purchased every single Terry artwork that I have available in my shop, which is incredibly sweet and very, very cool of them. I hope that they like it. I mean, I'm assuming that they do like it as much as they did make that purchase, but you know what I mean. I hope they like when they get the actual prints, I hope that they feel like, yeah, these are good. I really love the service that I use to get my prints printed. I think is very, very good. I'm very happy with the overall print quality, and also the fact that the paper is recycled stock, which is fantastic. And it's really lovely quality paper. So that makes me feel happy. Anyways, so we've got a happy little tree in the corner there. I mean, your art is delightful, so I see no reason why they wouldn't be anything but delighted with it, says Samantha. Oh, that's incredibly sweet. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I really need to update my, come follow me on my socials with, my Blue Sky account, because I really don't post to Twitter at all anymore, except basically to say, here's when I'm streaming. I don't post my art there anymore. I don't really talk that much on that Twitter account. So, it's there, but I don't really use it, because, for various reasons, a little bit disillusioned with Twitter these days. But yeah, I should update that. Here's my shop in case anyone missed it earlier. Sorry, I'm spamming today, but there you go. I do also have a YouTube channel where I post things from time to time. And I'm working on a video for it at the moment, I was really hoping it, over the last couple of weeks to do some filming for that, which did not end up happening because I am, under the weather, as they say. And it hasn't been wise or really possible for me to film stuff. Twitter is the bad place. Facebook/Instagram seem to be speedrun becoming the bad place. Truly. TikTok has apparently been banned, and the result is that people have switched to an explicitly Chinese app, so good job, America. I'm not really, I'm gonna pull up a photo, one of the photos I took, the other day for reference here. I'm really not up to speed on what's going on with all that stuff, so... shrug, but I don't know. There's always Mastodon, but I get that. I think a lot of people find Mastodon quite confusing, which fair, because in many ways it honestly actually kind of is. I like using it. I do like using it, but I also get why people find it confusing. So, yeah. I'm just gonna pop some leaves on this sort of foreground foliage that's probably quite close to just being sort of in front of the window. Not too concerned if it feels quite sketchy, because I kind of like that here, actually. I think it's fun. But hopefully this isn't going to look weird. I don't know. I wanted there to be some things that are reasonably close to the window, so you get that feeling of depth and fogginess, in as much as the things that are further away definitely are significantly less visible than things that are quite close. And hopefully that's becoming more obvious the more stuff we add into it. There we go. Thusly. Fill this in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so we've got some foliage kind of over here, and I kind of feel like I maybe want to add something in this quadrant to give that sense of depth again. Tal says I sort of miss the good old days with Twitter, but I don't miss doing less scrolling. I mean, I like that I'm spending less time on pointless scrolling. One of my scroll goals for now is that I don't I don't want to lose Instagram entirely, because it's, as an artist, it is hard to lose places where there is audience, because as much as I've seen well-meaning people be like, just have a really good website, just set up a mailing list, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but having a mailing list is great, but the only way that people are going to know that you have a mailing list is if they found you on socials and you tell them about your mailing list there. Otherwise, no one's going to know that your mailing list exists, and it's pointless. So you can't really abandon having a social presence as an artist. But my strategy for Instagram now is to basically go to instead of ever using the app, I just go to my profile on my computer browser. I click on the list of users I'm following, and then I go and individually right click and open new tabs of all of the profiles of people who it looks like have posted recently, whose artwork I want to give some engagement to. And also enjoy and be inspired by. Which means that, I'm not seeing that, because honestly, like, my Instagram ads got to the point where I was like, I genuinely am stressed by seeing these. Because a lot of them were actually pretty disturbing. And that's not good. That's not good for a social site to just be like, here are some ads that are just gonna make you have, like, anxiety. Like, no, that's bad, actually, so I'm gonna stop doing that. Anyways, I feel a lot better. But yeah, Tell says, yeah, socials were good for discoverability both ways. I know I am missing things that I used to find out about. Oh, absolutely. It's one of the reasons that I was loath to get rid of Facebook, and I ended up being forcibly getting rid of Facebook, in as much as, I am not able to, I forgot my password and I am unable to log in. So I was just like, at that point, I was like, well, I guess I don't have Facebook anymore. Okay. My moderator / spouse put a YouTube link into, I see. Okay. Apparently this is just for me, because public transit YouTuber Jeff Marshall has made a video in which he rides the bus that goes from Oxford to London, which is the bus that we take when we need to visit London. So I'm looking forward to seeing that after stream. Thank you, Sunshine. Tee tee. It's anytime that there's like Oxford mention in anything, I'm just like, hello, because that's where I live. Anyways, but yeah, when I lost Facebook, I wasn't, for the most part, I wasn't sad about it, because I literally would only go on Facebook to see if I had DMs from like writer friends that I knew who might occasionally share like, hey, did you want to contribute to this anthology, or, you know, like, hey, this is an opportunity you might be interested in. And also like from select family members who might be like, hey, do you have the recipe for this blah 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 thing, or hey, tell your dad to answer his text messages, etc etc. But but apart from that, I never looked at my feed, because it was just like posts from people I don't speak to and don't know very well, but added because they sent me a friend request, and like, I don't know, I was in one course with them at university, like, you know, almost 20 years ago. And just like ads, just so many ads. Here's a page you might like, with just like, I don't know, some very asinine listicle about Star Wars. Anyways, so no thank you. But going on socials and getting angry / anxious / sad, I don't miss, says Tells. Yeah, exactly. It is. I feel like I need to be being on YouTube more, like posting videos and stuff there more, and seeing if I can find community and audience there as well. But because YouTube videos taken off, apart from stream VODs, which I just, you know, sort of do basic edits to and then pop up on my second channel, making actual YouTube videos takes a lot of time, and I oftentimes don't have the time, and then when I do have the time, I'm too sick or the lighting is bad, and it takes even longer to get it done. Consequently, yeah, is a little bit of a struggle to do that as much as I would like to. But I would like to do that a lot more. As I mentioned earlier, there's a video that hopefully I'll be finishing maybe this weekend. I can finish filming it, get the edit done, get it out there so y'all can watch it. And I do hope that you like it if you do watch it. I was I'm pretty chuffed with it, sort of thus far. But what was I saying? The next one that I want to work on is going to be quite a lot of work, quite a lot of digging into history for. So that should be a fun time to do. But also a lot of work. So it may take me a while to get this one done as well. Ugh. I should be planning some, like, you know, little, like, low effort things to do in between the things that take a long time. The one that I'm working on right now was supposed to be a low effort video that doesn't take as much stuff in between. And I've been at this for months. So, oh well, here we are. Happy days. Anywho. Okay. Just gonna water this down a smidge, because I just want some little, especially sort of closer to the front of the piece, just some little patches of sort of visible grass or ground. It's got a little bit more color to it. That kind of fades fairly quickly into the back. There we go. Okay. It's definitely starting to feel a little bit more populated now, I think. So I feel like maybe I'm gonna, okay, I want to do a little bit of a very light outline on this ghost, Just to get it to pop just a smidge, but not so much that it doesn't feel like it belongs where it is. But just enough so that it pops maybe a little bit more than like the pathway. And then I think that might be it for the background. I don't want to add too much or we might end up losing some of that, like, effect. Samantha says, I mean, you've still got plenty of leeway to get a video out and maintain a higher video output than Harris Bomber Guy. This is true, actually. I was watching one of his videos earlier today, actually, just because it's one that I've seen before. It was about a video game that was okay, I think. Is I think about 4 hours of talking about a video game that I haven't played that apparently was just okay. Which, you know, I love that kind of thing. I mean, that is, if you've seen some of my videos, you know I enjoy a good deep dive on something that probably nobody but me cares about, but hopefully people might enjoy because they just enjoy the deep dive as a concept. It was Deus Ex. Actually, no, it was like Deus Ex 3 or something. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was it was another Deus Ex game. Maybe I don't know. It was another one. But it was a Deus Ex game, yes, which I have not played any of them. I've heard of them and I was like, probably not for me. And that was it. Anyways. But yes. If you don't know YouTuber Harry H. Bomber Guy, makes a lot of interesting videos about a whole bunch of different things, and they're pretty neat. Recommend. Yeah, they do not appeal to me either. And yet, I will 100% sit down and watch a video of someone talking interestingly about something that I have zero interest in otherwise. That's the kind of thing that I find fun. I'm normal. Anyway, okay. It's time to paint the inside of this place. I don't think we're going to get this painting done today. I am, in a shocking twist of events, I don't think we're going to get this painting done today. Are you surprised? Are you shocked? Are you stunned? I don't know. Unfortunately, y'all are just very engaging conversationalists, and you make me want to talk to you about stuff, so. Oh, flip! Like Jenny Nicholson spending 4 hours on a theme park / hotel I will never visit. The thing is, Samantha, no one will visit that theme park / hotel. Because it closed. Both of them. Elgato is so stunned that it stopped working. Oh no. Oh no, shocked and stunned. Can you believe to learn? Okay, let me restart Elgato again. You silly creature. Alright. Initializing video engine. You sure are. Okay. I'm on airplane mode and it's still trying to connect via the Wi-Fi. So that's not even, like, airplane mode does not make a difference to that. Do I just need to turn off what I've turned off Wi-Fi. So it can only connect via USB. It's connected via the USB. Okay, finally. I had to switch Wi-Fi off on this device. I have to remember to switch it back on later. Because I do not want to pay for data when I'm at home. Are you kidding me? That's stupid. That's what I have Wi-Fi for. Anyways. But yeah, there is something about watching someone who's real good at, like, making informative videos about things, even when they're things that you have, like, nominally no actual interest in, that is super fun to me. I don't know. I find that's the kind of nice, like, cozy. If I want a cozy entertainment situation, I'm just like, yeah, just talk to me about a TV show I've never seen for 4 hours. Just give me like a 2.5 hour video about a super obscure piece of history that I'm not familiar with. That's my idea of a nice time, actually. I think I blended too little of this paint color, and I'm realizing that now and feeling not good about it. So, ruh-roh. Oh no. My poor window framing. I might need to give all of these window intermediate frames. I don't. What do you call the things that go, like the bits of window that go in the middle of them like this? What is the name of this part of the window? I don't know. The framing device. The literary framing device of the window, you know. Um these thems. Mm. Goodness gracious. Okay. Well, I managed to squeeze out getting the same color on all of them, but let me just do thusly. Because we've got one of those situations where the window is kind of recessed. And here is the recess. There we go. Okay. Anyways. Almost done. This element anyway. Anywho, I have yet to produce a video that goes over an hour, but I do have one that's nearly an hour. I do not know how long most people got into that video, but probably not the full 55 minutes. But, you know, anyways. Google suggests mullions! Yes, thank you! I do know that word. Thank you, thank you. Mullions and transoms, apparently, says Tals. I knew mullions, but not transoms. Interesting. But thank you. We've learned something today, and I'm happy with that. I'm gonna pop a link to my YouTube channel because I'm talking about it, where you can watch. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of disappointed with how not very watched my last video was. So if you haven't seen it, you should look at that, because I worked really hard on it. And I'd appreciate if people looked at it, because I thought it turned out pretty fun, but hey, what do I know? Anyways, I would like to deepen the color of these window frames quite. These mullions and transoms, I would like to deepen the color of them quite a bit, actually. So I'm gonna pick up a nice thicker amount of color, I think, and try and darken them down a smidge, if I am able to do so. Shall I? I'm gonna add some Blood Moon to this, because I think Blood Moon mixes down into a quality brown, which is kind of what I'm after here, is a nice sort of a brownie situation. A delicious brownie. Anyways, sorry for all the self-promo this stream. But I don't know, I assume that at least some people are here because they are in some measure enjoyers of the things that I do, so you might want to know about them. But I always feel sheepish self-promoting. Partially I think because I have such an aversion to, like, advertising, that I find it very difficult to do myself. I end up feeling very sheepish, very self-effacing when I do it for those reasons. Which is silly, because if people have actually come to my Twitch stream, it's probably because they like the things that I do. So you probably aren't averse to hearing about them, but I don't know. It's still a difficult situation for me, because I'm a silly little sausage. Anyways. Well, this worked out into a pleasant brown, at least. So we've got our mullions, we've got our transoms. I'm not sure which are which, but hey, you know what? Hopefully they're cute. And I feel like this piece is feeling significantly more... It's got so much more depth to it than when we started. It's nowhere near done. Annoyingly, it's nowhere near done, but I feel like there is so much more depth to it than when we started today. And I'm really happy with that. I am going to have to probably finish the last of it tomorrow because I'm going to have to sign off fairly shortly to go feed the household, to have some little taters and some little fingies, and probably steam some peas on the side. Delightful. Good stuff. Programming note, by the way. Programming note. Exciting times. Exciting times. Okay, first of all, so, transoms, mullions. Now you know. That's it. Anyways, thank you for letting us know that, Tals. These are mullions. These are transoms. So, there you go. Samantha can confirm I watch your streams because you're cool and make cool stuff. Aw, Beans. That was really nice of you. Thank you for saying so. Very, very, very kind. Far too kind, my friend. Far too kind. Anywho. I have also gone ahead and painted the coffee into the cup that the barista is holding. A true deliciousness. I hope that this is going to end up looking good when it's done. Sometimes it's really hard to know, you know. But I do hope that it ends up looking good when it is done. I've tried my best. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic just now. Hopefully y'all are okay. But anyways, what was I saying? Taters, fish fingies, mullions, transoms, windows, all that good stuff. Doodly-doo. Okay. I think I'm going to wrap up the windows and then I'm probably going to call it there for today. I'll have to finish this off stream. The reason that I'm finishing this off stream and not carrying it over into Monday is that this is part of the Stream Inc. Cozy January recovery prompt list, for which it's like, it is a set of prompts of like one per week for the month. And so I would like to do one of these each week. And to be honest, there's not a lot that needs to be finished, but it's probably going to take me about maybe like 30 to 60 minutes to do. And I, because of the way that my streams are timed, do need to actually go eat a food fairly soon. Because it's getting to dinner time here. Anyways. But yeah, the prompt for this was snowy windows, so I will make it more obvious, but there's little pockets of snow on all of the window bits here. And it's a beautiful snowy day here in wherever it is that the barista lives and works. But I think this is coming together. Hopefully you get the feel for it, that it is, you know, sort of various levels of far away that these trees are, and that it's quite a misty day, and that's why you can't really see things that are off in the distance with as much detail as the ones that are closer by. But yeah, I hope that you like it. Samantha says, can't decide if transom sounds like it should be a slur or a compliment. Like, maybe it is saying you are handsome in a trans way. You know what? I like that. Transom. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. You see that guy over there? He's a very transom dude. Ah, love that for him. Anyways, I'm gonna see if I can find someone for us to raid. I'm sure there are plenty of very cool people who are on and streaming at the moment. So let me see if I can find us one to say hello to. Okay. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be feeling even less under the weather than I am today. That would be, that would be super nice. But I guess we'll see. Ooh, this is someone we haven't rated in a wee while. So let me see whether or not they are just about to finish before I do that. Let me just check, because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, let's go raid this person, and they are like just about to end. They may be close to ending, but they're definitely still working on something cute. So let's go say hi to Patsy, because I haven't rated them in quite some time. Let's get us a generic raid message. Tomorrow you shall feel so much better. You will be over the weather. Oh, I hope so. That would be nice. Okay, where's my some little ghost emotes for today? There's a generic raid message in the chat. Feel free to grab the generic raid message if you have the emotes. If you're subbed, feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message or append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, everyone. I had a lovely time chatting and painting with you all. Hoping to finish this and then start something new on Monday. I'll be back tomorrow. Resuming my very slow speed run of Hollow Knight. So if that sounds like your bag, feel free to stop on by tomorrow morning. But regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Take care, everyone. Goodbye, good night, and good luck.